Welcome to Module 1 Uncalled Exceptions Demo 2. In this demonstration we're going to show what happens if an exception was thrown from the deconstructor of an object when resources, for instance, were deallocated. One scenario where this might happen is if you wanted to write to a log file in the deconstructor and the machine had run out of memory, but you had to allocate a buffer, you would get a bad alloc exception thrown when you tried to allocate the memory. So let's have a look at the code. We define our class throw exception up here with a constructor and deconstructor. The implementation of the constructor is here. You can see when the object is constructed, we will print throw exception object constructed out. Implementation of the deconstructor is here. When the object is destroyed, you can see we will print throw exception destructor called out, and crucially here we will throw an integer exception, which is an illegal thing to do in a deconstructor. You will see that it causes the program to terminate abnormally. In the main method down here, we have the usual try-catch statement, which would be the normal way of working to catch exceptions, except you'll see that in this case it doesn't work. We create our throw exception object, which will invoke the constructor here. So you'll see throw exception object constructed first printed out, then you'll see the throwing exception will cause termination of program line printed out, and then we throw the integer exception. Now what would normally happen is you would move to the exception handler here and execute this, but because we have an object here, when we move to the exception handler, the object is moving out of scope, which automatically invokes the deconstructor of the object. And as I showed a moment ago, in the deconstructor we print out this line and then throw an integer. And in throwing this integer exception, we will cause abnormal termination of the program. So this code here is never actually executed. So let's have a look what happens when we run it. As you can see, it's terminated abnormally here. And we'll just get rid of that box. And then in here you can see the object was constructed. And then we have the line here throwing exception will cause termination of the program, and then the destructor was called where we threw an integer exception which caused the program to terminate abnormally. And you can see that this print statement here to standard output is never actually executed in the catch-all execution and exception handler.